Hey, what's going
Hey,
on, guys?
what's up? How you doing, Robbie?
Hey,
Doing good. Got
going.
Mr.
Good,
Brad with
Brad.
us tonight.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I finally was able to get home in time and get my dinner done and got set up just in time.
That's always nice, isn't it? You come
Yeah, now I'm
home.
just snacking on some no bakes.
You have really lost the weight. I'll tell you. Every time
I
I
know
try to
not by
walk
not
by,
by not by eating these things, but
yeah,
every
but
once in a
yeah,
while
but
I'll splurge.
you deserve that for as much weight as you lost. Because I mean, honestly,
I've
you
lost.
look like a
Yeah, I've
different
lost.
person in the face.
I know some people tell me I look like I'm sick.
No, it's all that
No, I
walking. You did a lot of
well
walking
the
though.
walking. Yeah, walking today. I walked 4 miles. Yesterday, 6 miles. I'm doing. My goal is, and I was going to post this on Facebook. I haven't done it yet, but my goal is 1,000 miles this year. I did almost 800
Wow,
last year, but 1,000 this year, and trying to do 10,000 steps a day.
wow.
Trying to. So I've lost 60. I leveled off. I'm in the 183 to 188 range right now. I was 250 a year ago right now.
That's
So
not a lot of
yeah,
weight because you're tall. How tall are you, Brad?
well, 6'4" ish right now, 6'3" ish. I was 6'5" in high school, but I'm shrinking.
How are y'all?
It happens.
I'm shrinking.
Well, we got a lot of people joining here. We got Charles Akidasho. We have DeMarco. Let me look through here. Welcome, everybody. Johnny Drone Flyers here. One Vision Ariel's here. Mr. B Outdoors is also. Misadventures is also here. Golly,
Yeah.
man. Thanks for
Hey,
dropping
everybody.
by. Yeah.
Good to see everybody.
So the weather here has been pretty weird lately, right? We've been
Yeah.
getting some really cold weather and really hot weather, and now it's kind of like
Chilling
what it
out
should
again.
be. Yeah, what it
It's
should
yeah,
be.
it's leveled out. It's leveled out.
Yeah. So, what is the weather like around in Thailand today, Robbie?
Dude, it's always between 75 and 95. This week it's
Yeah,
been
but you
pretty
got a
good
lot.
because
You got
it's
a lot. You got humidity too, right?
yeah, it's been like I think it's been like 72, 74 the last 2 days, which is great because I love getting out on the motorcycle. And where I live on the edge of a real small province that mines salt from the ocean. So they have all the properties have got like a ditch dug out. You know how like and how you'll know this
Mm-hmm.
when you take a boat out on the water, sometime in different areas, like in Lake Chickahominy, there's areas where you pull the boat in and it lowers down for the water. Well, they've got all these gateways from the ocean coming into the mainland, the property here, and they fill them all up. And once they're full, they'll block it. And then when that water dries out from the heat, uh, they put bags in these ponds, and it leaves the salt. And they mine it. They roll
Oh
it,
yeah, yeah.
looks like a football field. They roll it, and those guys are out there working. Can you imagine working 100-degree weather out in salt because you cut yourself, and that's where the salt comes from. But I always tell my wife, I said, look at all the birds. What do they do? And she said they're eating the shrimp and the crab and everything that's in that water. I was like, yeah, but they're pooping. They're standing in it too. So it's in there. But that's where the salt comes from, guys. So
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So,
good
have
stuff.
you had a chance to fly lately, guys? Let's shoot, man. I had charged a bunch of batteries and it rained yesterday, so I had like 8 batteries to burn today. So I went out at lunchtime and just flew the parking lot like a madman because I didn't want to waste that much time. So I was like freaking tanking every one of my batteries, man. It was like woo, watching it sag, voltage sag, and I'm like, okay. So anyway, I was able to put him in storage mode by flying him, and I actually even like at 14.7 of my 4Ss. So it's a lot more
Yeah.
fun doing that than trying to hook it up to your balance charger and then putting it in storage mode. That would be horrifying.
I've been flying
Oh
my
yeah.
DJI FPV, and I noticed a few things. And saying Joe, uh, Portalillo brought it to my attention. On my FPV, I was noticing that my sport mode just wasn't fast. So you need to take off in normal mode and then flip it back to sports
Yeah,
mode to get that sport. And you can tell
yeah,
because when you come up and down, when it's in sports mode, it'll jump. And come to find out on the GPS drones too, like the Air 2S and the Mini 3 Pro, if you take off in sport mode, you're really not in sport mode until you go back and then open up. I never really thought about that, but
Well, you know, I've had just the opposite of that problem. I've taken off in normal mode and was in sport mode when I was in the air and couldn't figure out why I was maneuvering so fast. And then I switched it back and switched it back from normal to sport to normal, and it took care of it. Remember, you were with me. You were with me, Al. We were
Yeah,
down there.
yeah. You were wondering why it was so squirrely, right?
Yeah, it was all over the place. I was flying it like a madman because it was in sport mode. But, and I've seen it the other way as well. You take off and it's set on sport mode and it's flying normal. But I've gotten into practice now with my Mini 3 and I got the Mini 2 as well still, but I got the Mini 3 Pro and the Air 2S, and I lift it off, make sure those satellites are right beforehand, and then check them again. I try to, strafe left and right and check things out real quick but I also make sure I switch from whatever mode I'm in back out and then into the mode that I want to be in so that way
right.
it locks it in.
So
Now,
you're
Brad,
basically toggling back and forth, huh? That's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't happen every time, but I just do it out of habit now, or at least I try to.
yeah.
That's good.
Now, Brad, I know you said you wanted to get the Avata, and
Oh,
I
I
know
want to.
there's going to be some mixed feelings in the chat around this before I offend anybody. I bought it and I flew it, and I just here's the problem. When you get in and buy a little sports car like a Miata, and you go out and take it for a drive, and you're speeding around the little corners because it's small and it's tight, it's fun. And then you get in a BMW like one of Al's that he's got that's like a race car, and you got that same curve and feel of tightness, but you got power. You don't want to drive the Miata anymore. And after you flow the DJI FPV, and then you fly the Avata, it flies so different. So my question to you, Brad, is: have you flown anybody's Avata yet?
No, I haven't
Okay,
even seen it firsthand yet. And I mean, I've seen Al's FPV, POS as some people call it,
right,
and I have not flown it myself. I flew the FPV at the Spin Up 2021
right.
for a short bit with my goggles. I had goggles. Well, actually, I was borrowing. Who was it? Michael Wright's. I think I
It
flew
was
Michael
Michael's,
Wright.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I flew his, and I flew it for just a little bit, way up high, and I got a little disoriented. I get motion sickness real easy, so I did need some time with it to get over that. But I liked it, and I know there's speed involved with that drone once you get used to it and you get it up in the faster modes. I just feel like, and I'm not going to be able to get it anytime soon. I don't know if I'll get the Avata this year, but I would love to have it. But
You need
it
to,
just
but
came.
before you do it, you need to fly both because I'll tell you, I was so set on, hey, this is great. It's going to be a great FPV to get me into the understanding and feeling it better. I just after I spent all that money, I think I spent 1,500, 1,600 bucks to get it. Went out and flew it. I had it for a month, and I was like, it's just not what I wanted it to be. And then people started saying, some of the batteries are coming out and different stuff. So then with that, I was like, okay. So I had reached out to DJI, and they're like, we don't have any refresh in Asia. I go, crap. So in other words, my $1,500 is going to go down the drain. So I decided to
Right.
sell it, and I've downgraded a lot. I mean, I've sold my Mavic 3. I've sold a lot of the drones that I had because I do want to buy some of the newer stuff coming up that's coming out. I want to get some stuff where I can, see some heat shields, get some different technologies because I've had cases here. The military here had a boat that capsized.
Ooh.
And during New Year's, they were asking people, hey, if you got a drone, please come out, fly, and help us. We had already booked a hotel 3 hours in the city. So I felt bad because I was like, hey, this would be a good opportunity to get to fly. I want to go out there and try to help some people. Had I had the right drone and enough batteries, I definitely would have gone there.
You
Because
know,
they needed
I
help.
think the Enterprise drone sounds like the drone to have in that case, right?
Well, you know,
Yeah, I
the
would
thing
think
is,
so too, because you could zoom in and out.
yeah,
And
I love the DJI drones. I mean, in my opinion, nothing flies like the DJI. Alltel's got great cameras, but the problem here is they have so much geofencing on different areas here that
Yeah.
I would really like to. I don't. They can warn me and tell me, hey, whatever, but I don't want to take a chance of having a drone up and it freezing, you know,
Is
or
there a
something
lot of
like
that
that.
around your way? The geofencing, is there a lot of that around you as well?
In certain areas there are because it's like here they really make an example. It's not like there. You fly in the wrong area there and you get a letter, you know, from the FAA saying,
Somebody,
hey, you
yeah,
know,
somebody knock on your front door or something, maybe.
here the police show up. They will take you away. They take you. They put you in jail. They take you out. You got to post bond. You got to go to court. And I mean, it's serious over here. It's like they made a business out of it. So someone
Wow.
flew above the king's palace too
ooh,
close
Cool.
and they went too high and they just happened to turn around and they caught it where it was in the picture. It was in the newspapers. It was on television.
Oh no.
$40,000 fine. And let me tell you, they will lock you up over here till you pay it. So yeah, there are a lot of different restrictions. We follow the laws over here. Well, most of us follow the laws to the T without any issues. And I don't have a problem. I want to respect and follow laws, but I do want to be able to fly when and where I want to be able
Yeah,
to fly.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, you
So
almost
things
have to,
like that.
there's some of the other live streams, folks. A lot of people speak of this. If you really want to fly and not have to worry about that, you're going to have to go with another brand. And
Yeah,
there's something out there that you can do that. There's plenty of people have their opinions of which ones are the ones to go with. I'm not going to say names of who or which drones, but
sure.
that's if I was in a place that was that tight and you really, really wanted to fly, I would have to go with one of those other name, manufactured drones. And there's a bunch of good ones out there, great ones out there.
We
yeah. I
have
mean,
remote
Dreamy,
ID
Alltel.
and all that over
Yeah,
here. So we still have that. And there's only certain areas that I want to fly. I mean, I enjoy flying where I live, but the problem is there's just so much water. Trying to fly in manual mode with FPV is challenging in some areas because I
risky,
just don't want to be
risky.
around the water. Yeah, it is. It is. It's risky. So I'll fly the mini. But you were saying you had motion sickness. So whether you
Yeah,
fly either one, and this is not a sales pitch, but I want to show you all this from Scotty Make Stuff. This is the tripod.
yeah,
This
yeah.
part right here has got a spring on it that screws on. So you can put your motion controller in here. And then if you're on a picnic table or something, you can use that.
Oh
Or
yeah, yeah,
the
like a
base comes off of it. And you guys don't make any comments about this. I know some of you are lonely, but it just fits in there. But you can take the bottom part off here and it comes with a plate and it screws onto the plate. You can see it here, and it comes with a strap, and you strap it to your leg, where you can
Oh,
just use
nice.
it in your chair, and that way you always know where your position is at. I used this one time, and it was okay, but I usually lean up against my motorcycle when I fly FPV. That way I don't fall
Yeah,
when I fly. But to each their
I
own. But
did.
anyway, you
Well,
can fly both
well,
drones before you buy it.
at spin up when I did fly Michael's FPV POS, I was sitting down, but some people have mentioned to me after that when I mentioned that I got motion sickness, they said try standing up because some people do better standing up, even if they are a person like me that gets motion sickness.
Well,
But I'm willing to try. If I get an opportunity, Al, when you get back to Richmond, well, maybe I'll try to fly
yeah,
your POS some.
yeah. I felt so bad when we were together at the Virginia Beach, and you were supposed to fly it, and we didn't get around to
Uh,
getting you.
I was socializing. I was socializing too much.
Yeah, it's all right. But, I should have interrupted and said, "Hey, man, your
You know
turn.
me. I go to all these drone events, and I barely pull my drone out if I pull it out at all, and I'm usually just talking, just jibber jabbing.
Well, you know what? One of the things that we've been doing lately is, let's do this together, and that makes it more. I don't know what you
Yeah.
would call it, engaging. It,
Hey, Angela, just coming in. Lost Girl Adventures.
oh,
Good to see you.
good, good.
Al,
Hey,
I sent you a couple links. Al, see if you can pull up that one link that I sent you?
Sure,
Sky,
I already have it here. Which one do you want, the Avata or Serenity?
No, I wanted the first one. This morning I woke up, I saw a Facebook post, and it was a sign of no drone zone. You see the picture I sent you?
Oh, not the link. Okay, yeah, let me pull that up. You sent it to me early this
And while
morning.
you're doing
Yep.
that, I wanted to back up just a little bit in the chat. Have drone will fly. He had made a good point. Geofencing just keeps you safe, especially if you're a newbie, and I agree with that.
Exactly.
But you know, there's a couple different sides to that, but I won't get
Yeah, there
into it.
are
We
some
talked
times
about it
that
earlier.
yeah, there are some times that you want to go. We have a beach here, and if I'm on one end of the beach and I take off, it won't warn me. But if I'm on the other end of the beach, it's too close to one of the hospital launch pads, it will tell me. So I've got to like go to the bad end of the beach in order to get up. I was doing some fireworks last year and had to go through it. So there are times that there's not going to be anything around because nobody in their right mind is going to be flying airplanes in where the fireworks are. But so
Right,
those are the
right.
times where you want to bend it a little bit. Now, when I was in Hendersonville, Tennessee, before I came here, it was funny because everybody was talking about don't fly over automobiles, large groups of people here. So I'm in the middle of the parade, and I see this guy, 107, flying like 15 foot off the ground, over the fire trucks, 30 foot over the ground, over the fire trucks, over the road. And I'm sitting here thinking, who approved this? So I asked him, I was like,
Yeah,
hey,
really.
how did you get permission to do this? Because I mean, honestly, within like 15 minutes, fighter jets were flying over the city for the parade. And I was like, how did you get clearance? Oh, the city approved it. I was like, dude, the city ain't got shit to do with it.
Right.
He was just BSing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he
exactly. And
was.
that, yeah,
He
and
was.
he's full of that part. So did you
Yeah.
find the link now?
No, I did not. I only have two links that you sent me. One of them was the Serenity one, and the other one was the Avata and the San Antonio Marriott.
Okay,
So-
hold on. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, if you don't mind, send it to me. That'd be awesome.
Okay, I just sent it to you and see if you're going to get it. I'm going to send it to Brad too and see if he gets it.
I got it.
All right.
Okay, pull that
It's
up
a-
and take a look at that. This is really interesting, and this touches on the basis of rules and flight etiquette as far as how we fly, especially around new people that are coming in. We don't want them. We don't want to teach them the bad habits that we may have from time to time. So we watch it, but this is pushing the limit where these people have put a sign up. And if y'all notice up under there where it says FAA and you see the logo, I doubt, and I agree with this post, I doubt they approved that. So now people now evidently are going after this company saying, hey, y'all are using this branding and it's not legal. Is it, is it right for us to do that? Yeah, it's a gray line there. We don't
So
want
that's
to,
Marathon.
yeah.
They run they run a bunch of not refineries but gas stations too.
There's
Yeah.
gas stations, yeah.
So the question is that legal? Did they use that branding or did they use that to try to detour people thinking, oh, it's official. It's got a FAA logo on it.
You know, I
Al?
think if they were going to cover their butts on this, I don't think they would have just put FAA on there, Federal Aviation Administration. They would have put a little bit more on there than that to
Yeah,
say
like
that they were
$30,000
behind.
fine or 2
Yeah,
years
something.
imprisonment.
Yeah, that's just my opinion of it. But
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that, guys. I was trying to break out my chat. Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely. If you notice, it definitely had somebody print that well because it looks like it was. What do you think? And the piece of metal, and then they put this vinyl print on it.
I think either way, I think they did it to try to make it look more official than it really is. And I think it's wrong.
And typically a print house that's a business that follows the rules, not all of them are going to do that, would not print that logo on there unless they've gotten some type of permission, because I've gone to print places before to print up some things like Harley Davidson and Ford, and then I made some cornhole boards some years ago, and I tried to print up some of these logos, and they wouldn't do it. And so what I had to do was I had to recreate them, and they looked exactly like the logos, but I created them myself and proved to them by taking a stick and showed them my files at the print house, and they printed them for me. That's all I had to do. But in this case, you know, my guess is that somebody printed this and didn't know, maybe that they didn't know that they shouldn't have that on here. Who knows? I mean, it's all speculation. There's not enough information here.
There's a lot.
That's
of
probably the site manager that made that call too. You know what I mean, for that facility.
Yeah, a lot of T-shirt companies, guys, I've noticed, if you were to take Harley Davidson logos and send them over and say, hey, make me 30 of these or whatever, a lot of those companies know about the copyright and they won't do it. And just
they won't do it.
Fast tip that's pretty funny that I found out years ago. I had gotten a new inkjet printer, a big HP, scanned. I mean, it did everything back in the day. And I thought, this is great. I want to show people how great a quality it prints out. So I took a $100 bill out and put it on there and was trying to copy it. You can't do it. There's something in the printer.
It's built into it, right?
I don't know what the technology is they use, but I couldn't do it. I was like, why the hell doesn't this work? You cannot print out money on a copier. Something built into the way they design it sees that it's money, and it will not let you copy it. It just won't do it.
So it's probably similar to what I deal with on the ATM side of things in the world. You know, the ATMs, they are templates that are put into our software, secure templates for every single bill in the United States. We don't accept foreign money in the ATM. So these templates are different versions of the bills as they, you know, the Fed or whoever prints them puts out different, it's a version number. So they keep all these templates in there to make sure it's legitimate money. So in the same sense of what you're saying, if somebody was able to print them out on, you know, paper that's similar to what we use for our currency and print them out so that the template would notice those little irregular things in it, I guess.
Right.
And we've had many attempts of, you know, fake money, you know, for just people putting funny money into machines, and they just won't take it.
I always wondered how that worked. Is ink magnetic in money or no?
Yeah. I think the paper has magnetic properties in it. I'm not 100% sure about that. Maybe somebody in the chat will know, but I think the paper has little metal fibers in it in some cases.
I had a question for you. So tell me this. So obviously there's cameras on the ATM machines that are documenting everything that's being done. And so
for the most part,
counterfeit right there, or they're saying that somebody gave it to them or something, you know. What's the protocol?
Yeah.
Do you bring those guys up to the let's see, Secret Service? That's
well, the FBI would get involved. Yeah, definitely. It would be something that I've heard of it, but I've never been directly involved with any of those cases. But whenever they see that somebody has tried that, or somebody's tampered with the ATM, putting skimmer devices on them, cameras, whatever, the FBI gets involved, and it becomes a pretty big deal. But I don't know the extent of it, how they capture them. You know, there's all different types of criminals out there and different ways of them trying to steal from an ATM. But I know we've kind of deviated off of the drone world here, but it's interesting though.
Yeah,
it's interesting though.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting conversation for sure. All right, let's get back to the drone conversation. We'll corral the cats again, I guess.
So I found this interesting though. So I want to kind of keep up with this and see what happens in the future on that. We do have some videos that were sent in from us that I sent you the links to, Al.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and bring those up. And, I'm not sure if you want audio or not, but we'll just go ahead and
do audio.
Oh no, don't want to do audio. Hang on, I got to stop sharing and I'll got to do it again because I'll have to check that check that box. Present.
Hello, Ray Kelly.
Share screen, and we're going to share.
Hey, Captain Ray.
All right, Captain Ray. There we go. Share, and I'm going to hit play.
There we go. So this is the Avada here.
Oh, does it have audio?
There we go. I can hear the audio.
This is Lee Bessing. He's put out some good videos. Been watching his stuff.
Yeah, I see this is sped up a little bit. In part, and pieces of it have been sped up.
Yeah.
It looks like. There you go. Nice effects there. That's a big place they got there.
Yeah, it's definitely the right drone for being around all these kids because you guys know y'all have all flown around children and the kids come at you like this. They won't be grabbing a DJI TV like this.
That's so true.
Yeah. Well, even the Avada, if they grab it, straight into the props, they're gonna hurt a finger.
Yeah, it's not those. They're not like the Mini 2. You hit a prop on that, the motor stop. The FPVs don't do that.
Well, we're going to try to recover, especially the Avada.
Yeah.
Now, when my question is on this, and I haven't tried this, is if you're flying the Avada inside like this and you don't have GPS reception, is there an issue compared to having it, having the GPS working?
I've only heard and read, but I've heard it was not that big of a problem when you're.
No.
I don't know if there's a huge amount of penetration through walls and stuff, but
right.
I think I've heard that the GPS is a non-issue inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like since you're flying pretty close proximity, return home is not going to be a problem.
That would definitely fix the remote ID problem. Just fly inside if you don't have GPS connection. They can't see you.
Yeah, and that's what everybody's been talking about all the time. What about all the people that were racing indoors that we have to have remote ID for that? And so I know that everybody's still debating all those rules, right? I'm sure within the FAA they're trying to figure out. They probably have very few people researching all this stuff out.
Well, I'm sure they want to keep full control and power over that. I mean, it kind of sucks because they do make the rules for us, but that's when it comes back to being important, to fly responsibly so we don't have issues and give them reason to make more laws to restrain us from flying in certain areas.
Well, thanks, Lee, for sharing. We appreciate it, man. It really is pretty nice. We have another video. I'm not sure if you want me to play it now or we'll do it later.
Yeah, now go ahead and let's shoot through these videos we've got.
Let's get this one rolling too. See if
I think we got from Lee also.
Oh, okay. Serenity on a gorgeous January day.
Yeah, boy, those guys are running as fast as they can.
Camera does good though. It does look clear.
Yeah.
Who's flying this one? I mean, who?
I think it's Lee. This Lee also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's looking at it. They're all posturing.
Yeah, those are the safe birds to fly around. They're not going to go into your drone too quick like the crazy ones.
So with the Avada, Robbie, when you had it and you flew it, I know that's a noisy drone, but is that because it's ducted?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's funny if you'll look on a lot of the YouTube videos now, a lot of people are upgrading the motors that are on it to try to give it the more power because they have an upgrade kit that you can buy and build onto it. But that's just something that I wouldn't want to. I mean, you're going to kill your warranty. If you want to dranify it or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the first thing to do is take off the ducks.
Yeah, that's what some people have done, right? Yeah.
Well, they've got landing gear now. They got landing gear for it now, so you could do that, and the landing gear would keep it up off the ground.
Well, what a lot of people are doing now is you, the carbon PLA prints now. You can buy
Yep.
the carbon and PLA mixed together,
Yep.
and they're putting together frames using that.
Yeah, and you can get it in colors now too, because I've got
Yeah.
blue and red. Those are the only colors you can get: black, blue, and red. For some reason, the way they have to mix the colors because the carbon's black, they can't get any like yellows and whites out of it. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's like I was telling you, Al, the other day when I was at your house. I think or was it you, Robbie? There's only black I can find on Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder what city this is.
I don't know. It's pretty though. I like the church.
Yeah, cute
No,
little
you
area.
can definitely fly right through that steeple.
Yeah, because that
Yeah,
way, if
looks
you
like
crashed it, there's steps going up there.
Yeah, and it's abandoned.
Recoverable.
It's abandoned, so
It's a mountain.
That's a good area though. It's a pretty area to fly.
It looks like Pennsylvania, West Virginia.
I forgot where Lee lives. I thought it was in Texas.
Could be Texas, but it looked like, I guess we have because all the deciduous trees drop their leaves. Texas don't have that much mountain, do they?
They have
Definitely a lot of mountains.
some areas. Some areas.
Look at all the way in the horizon now. All right, let's take a look. Read the description.
Oh, I see. Doesn't look like Lee is in the chat anymore. I was going to ask him. I don't see him in the chat.
It's in Texas. Ray said. Ray said he's in Texas.
Yeah.
He lives
Okay.
in Texas, but where's this?
Yeah. History that might have been filmed somewhere else, even though he lives in Texas.
Right.
The Juanita River is a little farther east than the areas I traverse. Indiana.
Oh, Indiana. Huh.
Indiana. Yes, it's flat. At least there it is. Scroll up a little bit.
So that doesn't say that's Lee. That says something county aerial views. That's not Lee.
That's not Lee.
Hold on.
Nice views of the river, surrounding areas. The Juanita River is a little further east than the areas I travel. Okay. The Juanita River.
Yeah, this is Bedford County aerial views. Sorry.
Okay. I've seen them in the chat before.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in the chat right now, but yep, I've seen them before.
I think we got one more video to show.
That's all I have.
Hold on.
Well, unless you have another link you want to send me.
I just sent it.
Let's see.
This is Johnny Drumfly.
Okay.
I know one thing. I saw the Facebook post today. Both the houses are looking good.
Yeah, they sure are. Looks like a nice neighborhood.
Really nice. Yeah, it is. I've ridden. He took me to the spot when I was out there. Very nice area.
I saw this one last week, Robbie.
Did we show it last week?
Yep.
Show it again. Show it again. Or
The
whoever
water
won,
tower.
show it again.
Yeah, I remember we had Johnny as a guest.
Yeah, he spent enough time to send it in to us, so let's play it again.
Oh, it's different, a little different, maybe.
Yeah,
Let's start it from the
probably
beginning.
is. All right, we can't see it, Al.
These guys that build this stuff, man, it's amazing. I see people on the interstate out here where we live. I was sitting at McDonald's looking across the street between the two roads, and the guy was like, way up on the concrete pillar part that holds a bridge up that they built. And I asked the lady, I was like, does he ever come in to eat? And she said, yeah, but I can't figure out where he's going to the bathroom at because the crane puts him up there and he's up there all day. She goes, he only comes down one time for lunch and he never goes to the bathroom. I wonder if they've got a bathroom in there. I was like, no, but they got a bucket there, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's probably got a bucket. I was gonna say. Here we go. Al, hit your full screen button there.
Got the
There,
music and
yeah,
the
there
sound with
you
it.
go. Oops, he
That's
didn't check
wrong.
that box.
There's something to dive with your FPV, Al.
I said, dive that and get out of there.
And well,
That
let's
looks
go and
that would
share
be cool.
screen. We're going to put the audio on it. Johnny was doing a little narrating along the way, so we better put that on there. All right, share the screen. There we go.
I welcome you into a video I went and shot today, the day after Christmas. And the other day when I was flying with Captain Joe America coming home, I saw them building this water tower. And they actually have a crane in it, as you can see, and I wanted to catch it. So before it was finished, I went
Oh,
up
look,
today
you
and
could dive
flew
right
it.
through that
Yeah,
hole.
it's pretty interesting.
Al, I knew you were
There's
going
a
to
lot.
say that.
Man, hope you
There's
enjoy it.
that, and there's a bunch of cables right there through that hole, though.
You know you can
Christmas
climb up there and
season,
get it.
Happy New Year.
He just wants to make the salad.
If you got the balls. Oh, look, there's a side hole too. Dang,
hole.
That's pretty cool.
the question
Pretty cool to see
is,
one of those being put up, though.
the question is, how long are you gonna keep your signal while you're in that little bowl?
Yeah, that Faraday cage. That's a Faraday cage right there.
Exactly.
All
Well,
that
one thing
metal
I
would
tell you, whoever builds these, I guarantee they got good health insurance or life
Yeah.
insurance.
life insurance.
Yeah, yeah. What do you estimate this height to be? About 250?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's about
Look
250.
at the building, look at the road, yeah.
Yeah, and
250.
look at the trees. Yeah, this is a better view there of the trees too.
So they probably took a crane and lifted that other crane up in it, don't you think?
Yeah. Yep. They got another crane they'll bring in and take all that stuff out of there.
That's just
Piece
wild.
by piece.
Yeah, it amazes me what they do with high rises, like in big cities, how they have cranes that just go up with the building. Just keep using the cranes all the way up to the top of the building. And then somehow or another, they lower all that stuff back down to the ground.
My brother-in-law told me that when you see a big building like that in the city and you're seeing two cranes in the top, the reason they put those in there, not just, primarily to build it with, is that means there's elevator shafts in it.
Yep.
Because the equipment they use with the elevators are like extremely heavy, and that's why they put the cranes up there to handle all the elevator equipment.
Yeah.
Because in a building, no matter how the building's built in the U.S., evidently it's got to be blocked around that corridor that it runs up and down. That's specially built for fire. So because of that, they have to have heavy duty stuff on those walls.
Check out all the ladders.
Wow. I want to see this later. Johnny, film it later when they're painting it. I want to see the guy hanging off the side painting it.
Oh, I think we were way off. Johnny says 120 feet.
That's still high,
120
though.
feet?
That's still high, but yeah, those trees must be short.
Yeah.
So here's the challenge. So we're going to see this, Johnny. Hit it again when they finish it, when they paint it, and then whoever can take an FPV and stick their sticker with the FPV to the top. And Brad, you know what I'm talking about for my field.
Yep.
We'll give them a free World Drone Community shirt.
Tag it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's see, where are we at? Somebody just hit me up.
So, without having too much dead air here, Al, you all ready for travels here?
I am. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but my suitcases are right there in the hall. And here in my brand new name tags.
Yeah. Tell folks where you're going if they don't already know.
Yeah. So I volunteered to do IT work for the Sundance Festival, which is in Utah, held in Park City, Salt Lake. And so I don't know if you ever seen the videos on, or stream videos. I'm sure you all have that said that it was one of the winners or nominated from the Sundance Film Festival. So that's what I'm going to be doing. On the IT side, and I'm going to be doing the setup. Then hopefully I don't get stuck on supporting point of sales.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
No parts of that.
Run as quick as you can. But
Yeah, I wouldn't want any part of that.
or the projectors or audio video
Yeah.
stuff wouldn't be too bad. I could do that.
How long are you going to be gone?
I'll be gone for 3 weeks and change.
Okay, so if you come back in a week, we'll know that they caught you stepping out to fly your drone, right?
Got busted, yeah.
He told me he's only taking 2 drones with him. I'm like, Al, I know you better than that, dude. You're going to be
Seriously,
like, oh, I just brought my Pro too.
Well, I might be able to. I wanted to take my Air 2S really bad, but here's what I just made, guys. Go ahead and enlarge me, Robbie, if you get a chance. Okay, so once Robbie gets me enlarged, I'll show you what's inside. Here we go.
You're going in and out of focus.
My arms are getting real heavy, Robbie.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry. For some reason, it's not letting
I'll wait.
It's not letting me make you bigger. There it is.
There it is. There you go.
He found the button. Good. So I made this, guys, and everything's been Duranified, right? But check this out.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yep. You got which drone is that, Al? Mini
This
2?
is the Mini 2.
Yeah.
And everything slides into place. Really nice. And you could even get your screwdriver in here, right there. This way, right in there. And your props. But this is half the size of the 5-more combo bag that you get.
Wow.
So if anybody needs one, I'd be glad to put it for them. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like this at all. Of course, it's been Duranified pretty heavily, you know. Everything fits really nice. Everything's custom. Slides in and out. Focus.
Yeah.
And it's secured. Just be careful with the props because that's one thing that'll definitely catch. So, yeah.
That's one of those things, Al. I know, Al, you and I talked about this. This is something you would keep with you on your bag that you carry onto the plane. You wouldn't want to throw that in your checked bag at all.
No, because you can't do that with lipos and everybody that's traveled.
Right. Well, I was just thinking about because that case is not protecting those components as well as because if you throw that in a suitcase and they throw the suitcase on top of another suitcase, it might crush. They might crush some of that stuff. So that's my point. But I agree with the batteries as well.
Yeah, and the lid's only held together by magnets. Kind of similar to what this print looks like here.
I like the magnet idea, though.
Yeah, the magnets work really well.
And there's the magnets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you just. Oh. That was trying to be dramatic, right? And you just basically drop it and it just lands in place. And here's a bigger version of it. Let me see if I can get it out. They sit under my. Here's the big version. This is actually a scan of the skull found in one of the excavations in the Yucatan Peninsula, and see all the carvings on the skull.
Wow, dude had good teeth.
That's how. Those are the Mayan carvings.
Oh, cool.
Those
look good size magnets, Al.
I've been using different size magnets. This one is like a 4mm, maybe a little bigger. But this one, boom, snaps right in. And, this has been heavily Duranified because I cut the skull in half and then I added the bowl in the middle. And then the holes for the magnets. And so, it required a little bit of engineering. to get it
Yeah,
done.
Ray Kelly was asking, is that a 3D print? If you didn't already hear it, Ray, yeah, all these are 3D printed parts.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, all 3D printed parts, man. I've been like printing like crazy, man.
Yeah, me too. I've been printing a couple of
I
things.
know. I got this printing bug like crazy. Like I just printed my luggage tags.
Now, one thing that all of us have done with 3D printing and people
Mhm.
that don't have a 3D printer, when you first get it, you don't know what to print. So you
I
print
know.
anything you can. And then when you get bored, you start thinking, now, what can I print that
I
I can
know.
actually use? I
Well, you know
bought
what I
this.
found? Yeah.
These
I
are my
bought this for
useful prints.
my motorcycle. So when I ride, I can connect my phone in with my Bluetooth. The biggest
We
piece of
can't,
crap
we
I ever
can't,
bought.
we can't see you, Robbie.
Go ahead and switch us back, Robbie.
Oh, hold on here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're right though. You get the bug with the 3D printing. You get the bug, and
Yeah.
for me, it comes and goes.
So I bought this from our quote Amazon company here. It fits on the motorcycle. You put your phone. This thing you tighten back here always cracks when you tighten it down. You can see how foggy the plastic is. They put it on it. So I have battled buying different type of holders to hold my phone. I wanted one that I could raise forward and hit video record and drive through where the animals and stuff are. Couldn't find it. And this just is like this the whole time you're riding it. So
I
got
bet.
online, found a couple mounts that I like, and I took two and split them apart, and I made this. So it's a two-piece.
Okay, so you don't have any rain protection on that one.
No, but I don't ride in the rain anyway. I'm just riding locally around here.
I mean,
But
that
it'll
attaches
fit on.
right to the bar. Yeah.
Well, I actually hooked mine on my. I got a crash guard, a little lower below that I can look straight down at, and I put it on my crash guard. So this opens up and it slides out. So you put your phone in here. It's got the notches in it, and you got the holes that the notches fit in here, and you just slide it in place. And then what I did, and this is something a lot of in 3D printing, if you'll see, I've got a heat insert in there. So when I put the top on this and I screw it down with this, I'm not going to strip the threads on that plastic because I see a lot of people making drone stuff where stuff screws in and they're not using heat inserts. That's what separates the quality of the product, and they're cheap. You just heat them up and stick them in, and they've got like little teeth in the side where they don't pull out, and you just tighten it up, and there it is. But when I designed this, or redesigned this, shall I say, for my phone, I've got 3 cameras on the back of my phone, or 4 cameras built into my phone. So when I put it in here, my cameras are still all visible.
Good.
So
Yeah.
how I put it on my motorcycle, I could video and actually go through and catch the birds and all the animals and stuff that are crossing. So this is one of the better prints that has been very useful because it's related to what I use my channel for with video, is be able to use the phone now and then.
I'll tell you what, man, talking about phone, well, remember I sent you the STL file for this, right?
Yep.
But I Duranified it and got rid of the recess.
Uh-huh.
Which the recess was the humidity gauge, right?
Yeah. Hydrometer, right?
Hydrometer, yeah, I wanted to say
that. Anyway, yeah. And so now there you go. There's a hydrometer gauge, and that's what pops in here. But if you're not going to use it and you're just going to use, silica, or in this case, I'm using aromatic stuff inside of it.
Oh, nice. Just sit around in your room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is aromatic stuff. So if you want your clothes to smell good, or maybe the room smell good, or maybe the car to smell good.
Yeah.
You could just put some of that downy stuff that's sold here in the U.S. But yeah, I mean, talking about phone holders, look, there's so many things you could do.
Oh my gosh, Thingiverse things.
Yeah, there it is. There it is, Robbie.
This is the design Al sent me here, and you see how I use it. I have it airtight. This is not. I haven't done it down yet. But what I did was these bags, like Brad gets for the ATMs, I just stick that in there.
Yeah.
But I like these because they're easier and I can switch them. So every time I switch material, I'll take it out. This one I just threw in because I had a new roll, and this is actual blue carbon fiber, Brad, made by
Oh
Eson.
man. Oh, that's my favorite color blue too. I love
Yeah,
that.
that one you got to print
it almost
outside.
glows.
Yeah, that's
It almost glows.
that's my favorite color blue.
Yeah, that's a nice one, Brad.
So this
I've
is
been-
this is just a quick one that I did. So it's just a container, and I've been wanting to print one of these, but it's a micro SD card holder.
Oh
So-
my gosh, that came out great.
It came out great. I printed it at 0.28 resolution, and it holds the.
It still
little-
looks good.
And it's got the card reader in here for it if you need it. But it came out really good. But it took about 4.5 hours to do the top and the bottom, and works really good. I like it.
Wow.
GoPro battery holder,
Yeah.
two different colors.
Guys, it's amazing what you can make, and there are like 4 major websites out there that have all kinds of designs. So it's like someone will buy something and they'll go out and scan it and put it up there. And my neighbor somehow lost the oil cap off his Honda Civic, and me and my wife were walking by, and he was rubber banding a Ziploc over the hole of his valve cover of his motor. And I told him, "Don't start that motor; it's gonna suck it in." And he's like, "Oh, I don't have a choice. I got to be able to at least go down to the market and grab some stuff. It's Friday. The dealer's closed until Monday." And I said, "Well, I think I can work something out." And he goes, "Well, how can you? Are they going to come open the store for you?" I said, "No, I'll just make you one." So I started thinking about the heat. The valve cover was a hard plastic. It wasn't metal. So I printed it out in carbon fiber and took it over there. You should have seen them when I put it on. They're like, "You made that from nothing." And I'm like, "Well, I made it from the balance of material."
Ray Kelly just sent me this picture.
They came out nice.
No, well, this is the one that Ray got from me. I made, and then his son got a 3D printer, and he's printing them now. So that the skulls, everybody likes the skulls. I got a box of about 20 of them out in the garage right now.
There's so many uses with drones. With what we're doing, guys, with the drones. I mean, reach out to your friends if you don't have a printer when you need something made for your drone, and have one of us print it for you, because it really. My wife told me when we first started, she's like, "You spend a lot of money on that 3D printer stuff. I mean, is it going to be a business? What are you going to do with it?" I said, "Well, I'm kind of doing it for fun." And then she told me last night, she goes, "Wow, you made a phone case?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she started looking around and she goes, "Man, you've made a lot of stuff." She said, "You could sell that." I'm like, "I don't want to do that. I make a few items that I will want to sell, and that's it." But it's just like, if you need something and the store's closed, you can just about find it and make it if you've got the material to make it with.
Well, the best part about it is some of the things that you won't find and you design yourself.
Right.
Case in point is going to be your ND filter holders. Okay, different sizes. Different. Okay.
And now, Al, did you do that in Tinkercad?
I did that in just freaking Tinkercad. Just use that hinge, and you can print all in place.
Very nice.
So you print like that, and it just snaps together. Boom.
And you just to get the multiple colors, you just shoved in the different color as it was printing, right?
Yeah, and I'm pretty brave at that now. So as it's still printing, I literally just cut my filament and feed it right in there.
Follow it right in behind the other.
Right in there. Okay. And then it starts printing and comes out great. And you can see you can get different designs.
Now in my Cura, it's got a layer thing on the right-hand side where I can know, and I will go in there and add a command to say, stop at layer 61. And it'll stop.
I don't even have to do that. Because you know how when you stop, your bed cools down,
everything turns off. You got to catch it quick.
Everything cools down, your print cools down, and then all of a sudden you get an offset.
Right, and you will.
You will guaranteed to get an offset, but if you feed it while still printing, you will not get an offset. And the beautiful thing about it, it mixes the colors, together before it starts, giving you the solid color, the change.
I know this is deviating off a little bit here, and I know we're coming up on an hour, but I would think you could modify the G code to have the heat stay on, or at least turn back on when it
Yes, you
pauses.
should. You should. Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
With
And
mine, I did it with the layers starting off, and then I kind of realized I got a dual printer. I need to learn to use the second head. So now with mine, I can just hit stop at 67 and use extruder 2 for the red, and I don't do anything. It just does it for me automatically.
yeah,
But
because
that's
you got that dual extruder.
Yeah, that's nice.
Well, you only have one extruder, right? You just have a Y feed into. You have
No,
two
I got
extruders.
2 extruders, one.
Okay.
So if I'm doing one color, it'll stop, and the other one will come in and change it, and it'll stop. They interchange. This is print in place, which means they're not links that you hook together.
Yeah.
They're
And
amazing.
it's a little stiff when you first get it. And you got to like bend it.
Yeah.
And then this is also print in place. And the advantage with that is when you make something print in place and you pull it off the bed, you're not going to break it. If you do individual links, a lot of links, and you're taking them off, you take the chance of breaking one. And it's just perfect when you do it all together in one piece. So some of the stuff that you can make for the drones is just amazing.
So Robbie, I was gonna bring up what you were talking about before we started the live stream. And you've been doing this on Facebook. You've been posting a print a day, right? So you're gonna
print a
continue
day and a tip of the day.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Just
that's
different
a great
stuff.
idea.
Different stuff that I use or you guys in the chat may use, because some of us ride motorcycles, some of us ski board, there's different stuff that we do. And with that, I just like to kind of share what you can make with a 3D printer and the issues and problems that I've had with, because you're going to get those, but it's amazing what some of these machines will turn out. And it's not brain science. I mean, anybody can do it. You just need to sit down and just learn.
Well, you know what I've kind of got.
Go ahead, Brad.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to say I've kind of gotten into I don't know. I hit a wall or something. I can't find really cool stuff that I want to print. That's going to be quick prints. There's a lot of cool prints that take multiple prints and take time. But I need to. I kind of like printing stuff that's I don't know, satisfying quickly. Like this thing took 4.5 hours. Sure. I don't. Some prints take 12, 15, 24 hours or longer. And case in point, my wireframe skull takes almost 20 hours, 19 hours. But those, I knew how those printed when I was doing them, and I haven't done them since last year, literally since early last year now, 2022, right before the South Florida drone meetup. But, I just kind of ran into a brick wall. I don't know what else to print. I mean, I'll hit another. I got the printer sitting in here on the kitchen table where it's warm because it's down freezing outside. Yeah. And I don't have heat in the garage, so it doesn't print real well on the bed when it's cold like that. But I go a couple of days and then I see somebody's video on YouTube and find something to print, and then I get into it again.
Yeah.
This took 7 hours to print this, and I was kind of in the same situation you were, Brad. And then after the newness of the printers wore off, and I was like, hey, I'm kind of bored on what I'm going to print, and I had like 2 or 3 weeks that didn't do anything. And then I thought, you know what? I don't want to print stuff for fun. What is useful stuff? Like my wife wanted a shelf and some brackets. I made stuff to hold my motorcycle helmets. And then I went to my printer and I said, what can I build for my printer and not have to buy? So I made an LED light and a bunch of other stuff for the printer. I didn't have to buy anything. And then, of course, there's some stuff that you want to make that you want to sell, that people are interested in, that you can make a couple dollars to pay for some of your material. But it's I may even do a channel on 3D printing, do a YouTube channel on 3D printing just to show the print of the day. Just what's Robbie printing? What am I going to print today? And some of the stuff is so handy because, I went in Walmart one time and I had bought something, a piece of plastic cable or something, and it was from China. And I took it home and it broke right away. And I went back to Walmart, and I'll never forget what the guy told me at the refund stand. It was like $3 and $4 or something cheap for it. And he goes, well, that's what you get for buying Chinese crap. And I said, well, you know what? That's what you get for selling me Chinese crap. Every company in China has to be competitive with U.S. by making it cheaper for people to buy it. So a lot of stuff you're not going to get the quality. Now, on the other hand, there are stuff that you're going to get quality from. These fans that we buy for the 3D printers, every part on my printer, and I challenge people that have 3D printers to do this. Go through every piece that's on your 3D printer and know what the replacement part is. The fans, I even went to the point of getting the ends for these and the cables and them together. I have every part to rebuild this printer, and I can tell you everything about this printer, and I've got a replacement part. So if something fails, I mean, I'm like, the manufacturer started seeing me post and stuff, and they're like, wow, you know more about the damn printer than we do. I could build this printer. And they even sell the tubing. You can get it, because our big complaint with 3D printer is what, Al? Height and width. That can all be changed if you buy the stuff. So it's another hobby.
And you got the T-Long. What's the name of your printer? T-Long.
I've got a 10 log D3 Pro is the one I've got. It's a dual printer.
10, I can never pronounce.
You can pick them up for $500, and people say, yeah, but you can get an Ender for $200 or $250. Well, this is a dual extruder. It's got a bigger bed on it, and everybody buys a different material to put on their beds. I like glass, and a lot of people say, I don't like the glass. I want it to come off easy. When you start printing hotter stuff where you're doing carbon fiber and nylon and stuff, you won't be doing it on those metal beds. You want a piece of glass. It's flatter, and it'll stick to it. Those metals, everybody that does nylon uses glass beds.
Well, the glass leaves a much better finish on the product too.
Well, I mean, I do use glue, but I don't. I've seen people use it, and one guy, I don't understand why my prints are bubbling up, and I'm like, dude, you got like an inch. What are you waxing a surfboard? Just let your plate hit 50, and apply this a couple lines of where it's going to go, and leave it alone, real thin. And when you get through doing your print, and don't do this though, because I was watching one guy's video, and he goes, are you having troubles getting your print off? It's easy. All you got to do is, as soon as your print's done, the bed is super hot. Get you some alcohol and put it in one of these, or some water, and just put it around your print. Well, let me tell you, you know what glass does.
You don't want to do that with glass. Yep,
and you put cold on it, the shit breaks. So one guy said, well, he had his plate, and the whole thing had shattered. And he said, I put my scraper under there to scrape it loose, and it broke. I use a blade like this. It's a razor blade, and this flexes. So I put it up under there and get just enough flex to get it started if I need to, if I'm having trouble to get it to come off. And then I'll put this under, because I've made room with this. Guys, I've never had a problem. I've never scratched my glass bed or anything. And these glass beds are like a windshield with an antenna. It's got that metal part like in your car on the bottom, and that's what brings the heat to the glass. But enough about that.
Yeah, we've come to the end of the show, so I guess we should wrap it up here, Robbie. Anything you guys want to promote or discuss before we drop?
I was just going to say, have a safe trip tomorrow, Al, and kind of sounds like it's going to be fun when it might even be fun while you're working, but it sounds like you're going to have some fun outside of working as well, or volunteering. And I look forward to some of your videos and pictures, and
me too.
I look forward to that more than anything.
Yeah, I will definitely got to get back on this, back in the saddle with editing. So yeah, I'm taking my editing equipment with me, and looking forward to it. Thank you, Brad.
Take another drone now, because I know you. Damn, I should have brought so-and-so with me. There's been too many situations where I wanted to say one thing really quick. We have a building here that it's like a temple type deal, and it looks like a huge round silo. It's maybe 125, 130 foot tall, and around the outside of it is a dragon. All the way to the top. It's huge. Me and my wife got a chance to go there, and of course I didn't take my drone. I just took my camera. The steps going in are inside the dragon, so you're walking in a round tunnel. I'm waiting for the big rock to roll from Indiana Jones down through. It goes all the way down. So I've got a video that I'm putting together of that, and then we're going to go back and I'm going to shoot it with the actual drone. Man, it's impressive. My wife is like, it's designed wrong. if this tunnel fellas like Cuddy, trust me, this thing's got more rebar and cement in it and left. So be looking for that video because in the next week I'll be publishing that. And
Okay,
other than
we'll
that,
look
I
forward
think
to
that
it.
covers everything. And then we will see you guys back in 2 weeks. Duranify will be here next week at this time.
For sure.
And other than that, you guys take it easy and we'll see y'all later.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good
Thanks.
night.